What is going on, guys? My name is Cory and welcome back to another cryptocurrency video on my channel. So today I want to talk to you guys about my favorite project in the cryptocurrency space without a doubt right now. And as you can see on the screen, or if you saw my top 10 videos, it is Substratum. So real quick, before we get started, I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for helping the channel reach 200 subscribers. We actually flew past 200. We're at 250 right now, I believe. So thank you guys so much for subscribing and being a part of the channel. I hope I can continue to provide you guys with great enjoyable content, and if I'm ever not doing that, feel free to give me any critiques in the comments. I read them all, and if there's ever anything you guys want to learn about or you want me to talk about, feel free to leave that in the comments as well, or any questions you have. I reply to every single comment, so yeah, knock yourselves out down there. Now let's get started. As I said, today I want to talk to you guys about Substratum. I feel like a lot of people either don't know about Substratum, and the people that do know about Substratum, they only know kind of at a high level, you know, kind of like a surface level, like what it is. And yeah, so this video is for you guys, so you guys can really understand why this coin is my favorite coin, and hopefully it can become your favorite coin. It sounds like I'm shilling the coin a lot, and I am, but I assure you it's not because I'm getting paid by them or anything like that. It is purely, of course, I'm invested in the coin, but this coin does not need my help to pump it, trust me, because it's going to go to the moon, in my opinion. But, you know, as always, I'm not your financial advisor. But yeah, it's not because I'm getting paid. It's because really I just love this project so much. I want to share it with all of you, so you guys can see how amazing it is as well, especially since we're only on the ground floor. You know, in terms of an investment standpoint, this project's only at 400 million market cap, 500 million around there, which, you know, if you look at the top 10 coins, they have around 10 billion market cap each. I just smacked my microphone, sorry if you heard that. But yeah, and from an investment point of view, this project is great in that sense, but also just from a technology point of view, Substratum is doing something that's literally never been done before, or at least not in the way that they're doing it, which is amazing. And also which is decentralized internet, and also they're doing it on the blockchain, which allows them to do the decentralized part. So there's a lot of things about Substratum that are great. And if I had to sum up Substratum, I mean, of course, you can read here, it says, we are the foundation of the decentralized web, and Substratum is an open source network that allows anyone to allocate spare computing resources to make the internet a free and fair place for the entire world. So this is very important here. It allows anyone to allocate spare computing space, resources to make the internet free. So we'll talk about how exactly they do that in a second. But yeah, if I had to compare Substratum to anything, it would be to a VPN, specifically their decentralized web part of Substratum, because there's more parts to Substratum than that, but that's the main thing that people know Substratum to be. So if I had to compare that part to anything else, it would obviously be to a VPN. So if you don't know what a VPN is, a VPN is essentially a way to mask your IP address and to route yourself, to basically pretend you're from, make it look like, I wouldn't say pretend, but make it look like you're from a place where you're not. Makes sense? So essentially, let's say there's some content from a Japanese site that's only accessible to people from Japan, which obviously companies can do. They can limit which countries can see what. Then what you can do is say you really want to see this anime, for example, from this website. You could torrent it, for example, but if you wanted to use it from that specific website, you could use a VPN to say that you're from Japan, and then you can service that content and you would get access to it. But the reason you get access to it is because you're basically, you know, they're passing that content to the VPN in Japan, and then that person's passing it to you. Makes sense? So if you were trying to go directly to the content, you wouldn't be allowed to do that. But the fact that you're kind of, you know, getting a hand-me-down, you know, you're getting it passed from one person to another, that allows you to get the content. So Substratum works sort of in the same way, but it's a lot more elegant than that. VPNs are great, but one of the drawbacks from a VPN is that VPN internet when you're using a VPN, people can tell you're using a VPN. So if a website really wanted to, they could block the VPN connection. But you know, the good thing about a VPN is it does mask your identity as being from somewhere else. So they may know that you know, whatever traffic is coming into the site is through a VPN, but they do not know, you know, who the person on the other receiving end is. So if you were to look at my mouse right here, let's say this node was the Japanese site and this was the VPN node. There's your computer. You're sending this traffic here, and then that's going here. This site could be like, hey, this traffic here, this line here, this comes from a VPN. Boom, block. But they would not be able to know who you are here. So in that sense, it's still good because it provides you with the anonymity, but now they've blocked your pipeline, so you can't get that content. Because again, one of the drawbacks with VPNs is that you can tell that it is a VPN internet traffic, I guess. Now, with Substratum, there isn't that problem, because what you're doing is you're using other people's computers as nodes. Because again, remember, everybody's allocating their spare computing resource. So you can basically put up your internet power, you know, your upload and download. It's kind of like seeding a torrent, if you've ever done any peer-to-peer file sharing, which obviously, you know, you're uploading and downloading, you're giving your resources out for somebody else to use. That's what you're doing with Substratum. So you allow people to use your upload and download, and you get routed through them. And with the use of the blockchain, you know, we can stay anonymous through that, and decentralized, of course. So that's how Substratum works. And when Substratum sends a request, or they're getting content from a website, it does not look like a VPN. It looks like regular traffic. So their benefit is, as they say, you know, they're disguised in plain sight. So it's the ultimate VPN because it's disguised as, you know, regular HTTPS or whatever, HTTP, whatever it is called, regular traffic. So that's great in that sense. So more into how it works and what Substratum is. So we can see here the demo. Again, this is not out yet. They had an alpha. They're having an open alpha, I believe, pretty soon, and then they're going to be launching sometime this year. I don't know the exact dates, but yeah, you can look that up. As you can see here, the network is on. This kind of little UI sneak peek, as you can see here. This person's earning 4.7. This is not indicative of what you'd be earning in the final version, of course. Again, this is just a sneak peek, kind of alpha, you know, developer side of things. But you can see they're serving this much bandwidth and they're receiving this much bandwidth. It says their public IP there and their earnings, whatever, yada yada. So that's the other great about Substratum. The great thing about Substratum is that you can earn Substrate. Substrate is what the actual coin is called. And you can earn Substrate for servicing content, basically for allocating your internet resources for other people to use. So not only do you get to use the internet for free, or you get to use the internet freely without being gated by anything, but you also get paid to do so, which is amazing. So you can run this on your computer. Actually, let me go to the end of the video where they show this really cool part. As you can see here, you can have it on a schedule. So if you're at work during certain times, you can say, hey, run it maximum power, use all my internet resources. I'm not home anyways. You know, it's not like internet is finite, unless you don't have an unlimited home internet or whatever, but that's a different point. So you can say, I want to allocate these resources while I'm asleep or whatever, and you can earn money essentially overnight to keep the network running. And it's super simple to use, which will, you know, this is going to allow for mass adoption. It looks very clean, very simple to use. You know, so a lot of people are going to start using this network, is what we foresee. So yeah, that's how it works. Now, if you go back over here, this other tab, you can see that you can also allocate CPU and GPU, so your graphics and your processing power, and you can also allocate your RAM. And down here you can see your internet. So you can allocate all these things. And so it's essentially, if you've heard of Golem, I really like Golem a lot. That was my favorite coin before this one. And Substratum is basically Golem, but with more. and I think a better product as well. But I still love Golem, don't get me wrong. But Substratum does what Golem does and more, and it does it in a more elegant way as well, like I said, because it uses the node idea of going to different people's computers, and it also keeps switching the nodes. This is called like their cores network and how it all works together. We'll get to that in a second, more about how that works. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's how it works. You can allocate your computing resources and get paid. Now, another thing that Substratum does is that they can host content. So they can host people's websites on the Substratum host. That's their network. And the paying network, they pay the users basically to serve the content. So the way this works is, for example, my website that I have does not see as much traffic as a website like, YouTube, for example. So, if I'm paying $20 per month, obviously YouTube doesn't pay $20 a month for their web hosting, but let's just say a different site that gets a lot more traffic than me. For my website, let's say it's $20 a month. I may not be using $20 worth of resources per month. So why should I have to pay $20? I'm paying a premium when I don't even use that. It's kind of like your cell phone bill. You're paying for unlimited, but you only use 2 gigabytes. So why don't you just get a 2 gigabyte plan and pay half the price that you're paying? Make sense? So that's kind of what Substratum does. It allows them to host your website, and you only have to pay whenever somebody is actually using your website. So depending on how much resources you use. And that all works with their Substratum node network and all of that stuff, the same way they service all the other content. Now, remember how I said this acts like a VPN and it masks your identity? Well, you can use any website on the internet, literally any website, no matter if you're running a node, if you're not running a node, you'll still be able to access all your content normally, no problem. And another thing too, if you're running a node, so if we go back up here, remember how if you're running this and you're allocating all your computer resources, well, you can also run it while you're actually using your computer, and the program is smart enough to throttle down, up and down, the resources that you're sending out, that you're basically selling, to allow it not to slow down what you're doing. So if you're watching a YouTube video, it'll never slow down your YouTube video. It'll actually adjust it. So, hey, maybe we shouldn't be serving so much bandwidth right now because, he's watching a YouTube video, so we don't want to slow him down. So it's actually smart enough to go up and down and throttle you and, all that stuff in the background. So it's pretty great in that sense too. So you don't even have to manage it that much. Now, another great thing that Substratum has is crypto pay. So the websites that are hosted, this isn't just for the websites that are hosted, but they actually do say allow sites. Oh, it doesn't actually say that specifically, but it allows any site that's running through the Substratum network to process payments with cryptocurrencies that are publicly traded. So you can use any cryptocurrency that's publicly traded, and you can pay for things on websites. That's pretty cool. So that's another great reason why a lot of people will start using Substratum, in my opinion, is because, again, the website does not have to be hosted on Substratum to be able to use crypto pay. So any website, so whatever, Amazon decides they want to use crypto pay for cryptocurrency payments, boom, they can do that, and they can accept payments, which is great. So it's going to be a very simple thing that web hosters can use to integrate cryptocurrency payments into their website. So it's a little bit kind of like OMG, even though the OMG doesn't do websites, but that's another story for another time. So that's crypto pay. Again, you can also allocate GPU, CPU power to the network to also get paid for that, RAM as well. So it's basically combining free internet, Golem, and a lot of other coins. I think Made Safe also does something similar, but they're not using their own. Like, Substratum is built from the ground up to be used specifically for blockchain and to create a decentralized web, and they have some proprietary stuff, such as their core network, which I will talk about right now, how that works. So as you can see, this is how the network works. Serving content, the nodes transmit the data to the visitors, the people who actually want to see the website. So one great thing about Substratum is it's great for example, net neutrality, right? Net neutrality is companies being able to throttle you. And if you're using Substratum, that would not be possible, because in order for them to throttle you, you have to go through the internet service provider, right? But with Substratum, you're no longer going through there. You're going around, you're going to somebody else, and then you're routing your traffic straight to the host, so you're getting a pass me down from John, Annie, blah, 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 back to you. So you don't have to go through the internet service provider yourself directly, which means that you're not being throttled, because you're getting chunks of information from different people in different sizes. I'm trying to think of the simplest way to put it, but essentially you're not going directly through your internet service provider, so you go around, which allows you not to have to deal with whatever's there, if that makes sense. So if you're looking at this chart, let's say this is the internet service provider, well, you're going around, you don't even have to deal with the slow traffic right here. So yeah, if this was a freeway and it was backed up with traffic, it's like, I can go through this shortcut, boom, quick. If I were to go through here, well, I'd be congested and it would take me 30 minutes to get home, whatever. So in a nutshell, that's how Substratum works. And real quick, I want to explain to you guys how their Cores network works. I don't know if that's actually on here, but I do know how their Core networks work. Cores network works. God damn, that's like a tongue twister. Because they've explained so on their YouTube channel. This is another reason why I love Substratum, their YouTube channel. They're very active in the community, in the Telegram, all of that stuff. They're always making videos. Look, they made a video yesterday. Very good video. You guys should go check out the videos that they have on their channel. But as I was saying, the way their Cores network works is that it really allows for the network to have greater anonymity and greater protection, because the paths that you take to service content, right? Remember, if John is passing it to, if Annie's passing it to John, John's passing it to Kevin, and Kevin's passing it to you, like, you're never going to get that same route again, which means if somebody really wanted to try and track you, it's essentially impossible, because you're never going to take that same route. So they would never know, because next time you're going to go to Jimmy, and then you got to go to Kendra, and then you're going to go to whoever else, and you're going to route that way. So it's never the same path twice that you take, which is obviously amazing, because they automatically do that. Another thing is that, for example, if I'm hosting a website, if I'm one of those nodes, if I'm one of the people passing the data around, for example, like, let's take these YouTube videos, for example. See these 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say these videos are each a node, right? If I'm this node, this guy's passing it to me, and I pass it to him, I only know who this guy is, and I only know who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is. So this makes the network a lot more secure, because if somebody came and pinged me and said, yo, tell me about the network, who's on this chain of networks, well, I'd only be able to say, I know who this guy is, and I know who this guy is. I have no clue who else, because once I pass the information to him, he's going to know who this guy is, and he's going to know who I am, but he doesn't know who this guy is. Make sense? So it's kind of like a chain, and you'd never be able to really know who's who, because you only know, I think it's called 1 degree knowledge or something like that. So you only know the person to your right and to your left, which allows for even greater anonymity. So another great thing. And finally, another reason why I love Substratum so much is, again, their YouTube channel. But unlike many other projects out there, Substratum is a real project with a real team that has been working together for a very long time. They have done, internet service stuff for 10 plus years. You can look at their website. For many companies, even Fortune 500 companies. So they're a very experienced team. They have an office. Like, if you look here, there's clearly people working on this. They make videos on their YouTube. They're very transparent, and it's an actual project. 99% of the projects in the crypto space are just a white paper. They're just an idea, and they don't really have a dedicated team working on it. So the fact that Substratum sets it already apart. It's very low market cap. I mean, I guess very low is relative, but in my opinion, this has tons and tons of potential to move, and it's a great time right now to get in on the ground floor if you are interested. So with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today on Substratum. I hope this helped you understand Substratum more and why I think it's so amazing. So yeah, with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you smack the like button for me and leave a comment below. Again, any comments, concerns, questions, critiques, any of that, I am more than happy to hear it. So again, that being said, I want to thank you guys all for watching. I hope you have a nice day, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.